Hello and welcome to today's reading. If you're here today and this reading is for you, you may be struggling with fully embracing some type of change that you have been doing your best to fully step into. This could be that you've been, trying to correct some type of limited belief. You could be really wanting to embody a different kind of identity or a more confident version of yourself. You've been trying to get away from like just past ways of existing. This could be habits, this could be thought patterns, this could literally be just in the ways that you express yourself and feeling like there's still something that's nagging at you from the past that you have been intentionally working towards, where you're just kind of like, why is this still coming up? Why is this still bothering me? Why am I still being reminded or triggered by this? That kind of thing. If you've been struggling to maybe detach yourself from some kind of wounding, whether it's in relationships or just from your past, maybe feelings of rejection or feeling that kind of thing. If you've been dealing with that and moving through that, feeling like maybe there's just still some little snag that you just can't seem to pinpoint, there could be a message in this reading for you. Welcome. Let's get into it. We're gonna start, and I was brought to do a very simple spread that I haven't used in some time. But what I want to start with is by saying that if you have been intentionally working on kind of disconnecting yourself from some kind of perspective that you have found to be unhelpful or places you in a victim kind of mentality or disempowers you in some ways, that it is working. It has been working, and you were very close. This feels like someone that is on the precipice. This feels like someone who, again, it's like these kinds of things. Maybe there's still kinds of obstacles presenting themselves, but it's like you will have noticed that you are at minimum becoming more aware when they present themselves, or the kinds of like physical um clues that kind of cue you into like something, maybe like some kind of emotional undercurrent that needs to be addressed. This is like awareness being brought into the moment. At minimum, there's a greater sense of awareness, which could be lending to this idea of like, well, why am I still being bothered? Your awareness is greatly increased, so your kind of tolerance for these kinds of, I'm going to use the word frequency just for the things I'm going to talk about, that are kind of not in alignment with you, that are making you feel off, right? So your awareness is increasing. So the things that we have been avoiding or suppressing in some way in the past are becoming more and more apparent. But for a lot of you, I'm getting like the way that you are handling it and the way that you were able to move and alchemize this energy is like expanding. And you are about to step into something that I think you have been envisioning, but you have maybe been holding yourself back subconsciously because you haven't been sure if you will be able to hold it, like emotionally, energetically, what it is that you want to attract into your life. All right. So, what no longer matters is this sense of, I'm getting like a deep sense of insecurity that is, I'll be honest, like physical appearance is coming up a couple of points in this reading. And as a simple reading, it's interesting that it's coming up a few times, like your physical body. Insecurity is tied to your appearance, again, physically, but also in the greater sense of like how you are perceived. So this could be just being more comfortable in your physical body as it is right now and trying to get to just greater, like having greater comfort in how you look right now. If you are wanting to change how you look because you feel like that needs to be in more alignment, I understand that completely. This would be like even kind of the clothes that you wear, but this feels more like just the actual physical, like your body, the everything, you know what I mean? Um but how you are perceived by people, and specifically there are like certain perspectives that you have, I feel like, about the world and relationships and kind of the way that people view one another that maybe aren't the most popular, and like that is also something that you are not caring so much about whether or not people agree with you. And this could be like, I'm getting more people, probably like family members. This is like you are probably more of a black sheep type. Maybe a lot of like your ideas and opinions go against a lot of what the people that you are normally around, kind of what they think. This is just not caring about that anymore, and understanding that you have put in a great deal of time and energy toward understanding yourself on a level of complete and utter acceptance, where most people just, they haven't done that work, and so they don't understand and accept themselves fully. So it's more like just understanding that why would you care at all about what someone at that place would think about you when they haven't given themselves at least the kind of love and care to accept themselves. You know what I mean? That cliche of like people can only meet you as deeply if they've met themselves. So we're not giving any energy to people that don't love and accept themselves. We do not care about what they think about us, right? So that no longer matters. Is this idea, and maybe that is kind of at the root of what you've been attempting to overcome, are these ideas that other people have put on you about how you should feel about yourself and how you should view yourself and kind of what that means, right, about your ability to move in the world. If you have been kind of wanting to go after something or express yourself in a certain way, but then there's that little nagging voice in the back of your head that says, well, I can't do that because I look this way, or I can't do that because of anything, fill in the blank. If it isn't just physical outward appearance, if you feel like you don't fit the bill because of someone else's standards or what they say you should be to do this, we're doing away with that, right? There's more awareness being brought into that. What has been fulfilled, which this is just so exciting, is I'm getting that there has been in the recent past, or you are about to be presented with an opportunity in a situation to exert this kind of this new perspective, right? And I think it's going to come in a lot more automatic. I'm seeing someone like being in conversation with another person, and this other person kind of says something, if it's some kind of dig at whoever you're talking about or whoever's being discussed. Even this is like a celebrity, I'm just getting someone is sharing an opinion where it's like you very much would have been in agreement with that opinion, you would have held that, but instead what kind of comes to your mind is this new enlightened perspective in whatever way it is, right? If it's more just generally accepting and being like, why do we need to talk about people in that way, or why do we need to, whatever it is, bring up someone's past, you know what I mean? Because you are in this state of evolution, you are understanding how the past is meant to move people forward, where most people will use it as a mechanism for shame and a way to keep people rooted in a place where it's like, well, do you want me to grow or do you not? Do we want the world to be this way? Do we want people to honor these perspectives, or do we want to give them the grace to grow? It's kind of that, where it's like it's disturbing your kind of, not so much your peace, but it's like it's something that I think, again, you're being brought into so much awareness just about how people not only limit themselves, but will place these limitations of like, well, you were this person at one point, so you have to be this person for forever. That kind of thing, where it just feels like maybe the people around you, even the way that they view people, is kind of turning you off, because you're like, well, damn, I can only imagine what you must think about me and like your own growth and that kind of a thing. This is like having the strength to express this other kind of perspective, but also I'm getting like you're kind of walking a line here. I think there are certain people that you're more than willing to have those kinds of um I'll say like enlightened conversations with, and you can bring that kind of thought process to, and there are other people where you're just like letting them speak. But in your own mind you're having a conversation with yourself, and if you can, even granting them grace and just understanding their own kind of perspective in it, you know what I mean? There's a lot of introspection here, which is, that's why it's so interesting being paired with kind of the perception of how like your physical form either limits or enables you. And again, I think that's like maybe one of the final, maybe that is the precipice, right, where there's this final kind of breaking of understanding that like your physical, I don't know, it's very interesting, very introspective person here, but letting a lot of like what they view in the material physical world inhibit them. But we're getting over that. Moving forward, what will carry you forward? I'm getting that, again, in whatever it is that you want to do, this vision that you have for whatever action you want to take, you are anticipating that there is some type of pushback, some type of competition. And maybe whatever it is that you want to do with your life, there is actual competition. Like maybe you're getting into a field where there's, people that are established, or things that you want to do differently, and there just will naturally be competition, and that's fine. But this is like letting yourself step into that and being okay with that, and understanding that you have a passion and a drive that whatever kind of conflict is the word that I'm going to use that comes up, whatever pushback or whatever, is kind of part of the gig. And like you're willing to do that, and you have the space to do that, and still holding that vision of like there's a greater purpose, so that you're more than happy to kind of deal with whatever kind of conflict arises. And really, this just more feels like, again, coming up against people's limited ideas and views for what they can do. And you're more just like, no, you can do this, or it can be like this, or we can treat each other like this, whatever it is, you know what I mean? This is more battling with like kind of having to do the thing first. Maybe you aren't going to find a lot of people that are willing to share your vision or that feel that it's safe to, whatever. And so this is just kind of having to do that first and really being okay with that. The change that you must embrace, and this is very interesting because this is also tied to what will kind of carry you forward. This is like, because you're anticipating the kind of challenges or people, coming against you, you do also have to trust. This is about opening yourself up to people that are willing and wanting to invest in you, to be close to you in some way. This really is even talking about like friendships, trusting yourself to be able to really discern the people that like have your best interest at heart and share your vision, and that you will be able to move forward with. I think you're the type of person that is just like, well, it's easier for me to do it myself, so I'll do it myself. That will lead to so much burnout. And you are such a beautiful person. And this is where another note about like physical appearance is coming up. I think that you like deeply mistrust people that are attracted to you in some way, or there's a general sense of distrust in people who like perceive you as valuable, because you think that it's like they're trying to take from you or they're trying to use you in some way. This could also be like you don't trust people that find you attractive, which is a different, I can't even get into that right now. But this is more talking about like there's a kind of suspicion that arises with people and whether or not they have good intentions because of some past wounding, and you feel that it's easier to just do everything on your own and that it's easier to just shoulder things by yourself. And that will greatly increase your, not only your workload, but like I'm getting like the emotional burden that comes with believing that you have to do this on your own. And it's just an inaccurate view. Like, to be just completely blunt, you will find so much more joy in community and allowing yourself to be in community with others. Okay. I'm also getting, this is like a note of like, if you kind of do something and then you realize that your friend like picks up on that like habit, like you almost get a frustrated or something like that. Like there's this sense of like, oh, they're copying me. We need to get to the root of what that is and understand that, like, because I think a lot of what you want to do is like inspiring to people and you want to show people how to live and exist in a certain way. But it's almost like you have a kind of wall up around people. Like it sounds like a kid. It's like they're copying me. It's like, are they copying? Don't you want people to kind of do what you're doing? Doesn't it feel good? Like it's not, you know what I mean? There's not a limited amount of, I don't know. This just feels like that, feeling a sense of discomfort in people emulating you in some way, when it's like you're meant to inspire people. You are meant to show people other ways to exist and express themselves. And like that's kind of the point. I'm going to pull an oracle for you before I let you go. Okay. One came out right. Well, two came out actually, so we will take them both. And they pretty similar in color, interesting enough. They're both lavender. Lots of lavender in both of them, I'll say. So if purple has been coming up at all. We have number 30. It says flaunt it. It has a picture of a flamingo on it. And the other one is number 2, and it says trust your wings, and it has a picture of a dragonfly on it. Let's do number 2 first. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, trust your wings. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? Endeavor to remember, for that person has all the natural resources to be the mistress of her own power and the sovereign of her own life. You were taught to trust others in authority, facts, science, opinions of loved ones or admired ones. But often that leads to confusion or discomfort, for only you know what is best for you. Listen to good counsel, but dismiss whatever does not resonate with your soul. Now is the moment to trust the wings of your inner guidance. They will carry you far beyond all wild imaginings. I think that is perfect for this reading. Let's see what number 30 has to say. Number 30. Okay. Number 30 is flaunt it. It says, now is not the time to be modest. Now is the time to strut your stuff and allow everyone to see the full range of those gorgeous, radiant soul feathers of yours. Don't hold back. The peacock shares its radiance with the world, and we call it natural. So go ahead, unfold, you glorious creature of nature. Display all that you are, and while you're at it, sashay, do a little dance. Let us be proud of all the dazzle you are and everything you have become in this moment. Both of those. Perfect for this reading. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope this helped. If it did, feel free to drop a like or leave a comment. I really do love hearing from you guys, and it helps me out. If you want to know when another video is posted, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be actually like notified and get a notification when the next video is posted. That's all. That's it. I hope to see you next time. Bye.